Sydney Rogers, and welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here at FingerLakes1.com. It is August 12th, 2020, and we are live inside the FingerLakes1.com studios, where I am joined by Jim Sinicropi, and only Jim Sinicropi today.
Nobody else today.
We are lone wolves. We haven't been lone wolves in a while.
Nope.
We do have a sponsor today, and our show is brought to you by Mike Sandroni Computer Services. If you're having any computer problems, he can help with PCs and laptops, repairing, troubleshooting, and even tutoring. With 20 years experience and the lowest repair rates in the area, call Mike Sandroni today at 315-568-6326. And I mean, I feel like it's a perfect time for a business like that because COVID and everybody having to use computers and some people that might not be used to it.
Well, people have computers and devices, and they have issues, and who are you going to call? It's nice to have someone local that you can call that's not going to charge you an arm and a leg, is going to get you back
Absolutely
up and operating. I mean, it's a weird time with computers and stuff because back in the day, computers, you'd have to upgrade your computer to keep pace with things like software. Right. But now a computer that's even 7 or 8 years old still should be good to...
Yeah, I guess. I feel like it's crazy if you think about, he said 20 years experience. Think of what computers were like 20 years ago versus what they're like now. He's had to adjust a lot just for that business.
Yeah, you'd be dialing up to a dial-up modem, and I mean, you must remember those days of getting on the internet with a dial-up modem, right?
I do, actually. Like, I feel like I have a cool generation because I'm in the era where there wasn't like really phones or anything. We just kind of had the home computer, if you would call it.
That's from your era. That's like half of my life was that way.
Well, I know, but then I was like, I'm in this in between where we had nothing and now we have everything.
How old were you when you got your first cell phone?
I was, if we're talking like an actual phone that I could text on, I think I was in 7th grade.
Which was what year?
2007.
Okay,
That's how I can remember.
I remember my first phone was big. I mean, it wasn't like one of those huge car phones, but it was too big to put in your pocket.
I had like the track phones, and then I had a really cool one that was like the hot commodity where you could flip it open and it had the full keyboard. Like when I finally got that phone, I was like, I'm really cool. But I had them before where I just played the games like Snake. It was like a Nokia or something.
The texting, everything, and messaging with phones was a big step, obviously. But I think what really made phones take off and change everything was the cameras, and the video camera inside these phones became so good that now all of a sudden, you know, I mean, when I was in high school or college, like the Kodak disc camera was a pretty big thing because you could take a lot of pictures fairly cheaply and go get them developed. But, you know, that's like ancient history now.
It really is.
I don't know if anybody takes their photos to get developed anymore.
I know. I feel like it's coming back around a little. Now it's like kind of trendy for like certain people to have like disposable cameras, and that's actually a thing now. Yeah, everything comes back around, don't you think?
Yeah, that's not coming back around, though. It's over. You can send your digital files to some service and get prints if you want, or lots of different things done with them, but... no, I disagree. I do not think that getting pictures developed at the pharmacy is going to come back, or at Walmart or wherever.
You'll have to see. They even came out with those things that print out the like Polaroid pictures that you can shake. That's like a thing now.
Yeah, my daughter got one of those, and she used it for like a week and put and printed them once and put them in her locker at school, and that was it.
Yeah, well, it's a trend coming back. You heard it here first. But
okay,
anyways.
Well, speaking of school.
Yes.
Now we're in mid-August. That means that normally, you know, I'm starting to see back-to-school ads for, like, the Gap.
I know, it's
Macy's.
Weird. It's just weird.
Macy's ad is actually, like, you still want to get your school clothes for this distance learning so you look good on Zoom, basically was their theme. But, you know, here in Seneca Falls, Minders, and most of the Finger Lakes region, students are going to go back.
Yep.
And we're going to see what happens. I'm happy that they're going back. I'm really excited to see, or not excited, I'm kind of...
On edge?
I'm kind of concerned about sports. Like, one of my favorite things in the world is to watch my daughter play sports. And so she'll be a freshman this year, and it should be soccer season.
Yeah, I know.
So that's selfishly, and for her, she wants to play too.
Well,
as all these kids, you only have so many seasons, before you graduate from high school, and then whether you play in college or not, or a rec league, but essentially your competitive, athletic career kind of winds down after you graduate from high school. And so I feel bad for her, and then selfishly for me, I really enjoy watching her and her friends play.
Right, yeah,
Soccer,
it's going to be interesting.
lacrosse.
And we really don't know, right? Like, I've been talking, obviously, with Liam, and, like, what I know for them, which I thought was weird, he's younger, obviously. He's only 9, but he has to choose, which I think is not fair because they're deciding to do his baseball season now. So he has to choose between if he wants to play soccer or if he wants to play baseball. And I'm in my mind, I think that's in the past now, baseball, and let them keep going with the rate of regular
pick up
sports
baseball
season.
Back in the spring. But college football is looking like they're going to cancel and have their season, if they can, in the spring, which that'll be crazy. So all this stuff is crazy.
It is.
And it's, obviously if they cancel a college football season and don't make it up, that's a lot of money lost for those schools, and a lot of college football programs support all the other athletic programs at the school. It's really big money. So that's why they want to have it at some point or another. But that would be strange in the spring. And then there's logistical issues, like at Syracuse, for example, the lacrosse team will be back in action, and the football team will be playing at the same time. They both generally share the Carrier Dome.
I didn't even think about that part. Yeah, because I'm still in 9-year-old land right now. And
I don't know if you've been through Syracuse and seen the skyline, but the dome is gone and the new structure is going up.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the new thing yet because I I would be going to games and stuff, but life. I noticed another thing that's really cool is, well, not cool, but I could see them continuing on with this. Like, Liam's school won't be going on Fridays at all. They'll just be going Monday through Thursday. And I wonder if that'll be something that they continue on with or not.
I don't know. That would have been great.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that would have been awesome. I would have been like the happiest high schooler in the world.
Well, things are bad when the kids are dying to go to school.
I know. I know. I was asking him, like, how's this one friend of yours? And he's like, oh no, I haven't seen him. And I was like,
the younger kids especially, you really are separated and aren't going to, and don't see your friends as much. My daughter's old enough now where she's riding her bike or going to her friends' houses. And, some of you may be thinking, listening to this, like, geez, what, are you crazy letting your daughter go to other kids' houses? I mean, enough's enough. I think as long as we can control the numbers around here, I think that around here we should be getting back to normal. That doesn't mean go into places without a mask on,
Right.
I mean, I think if we're responsible enough, we can get back to normal, track the numbers. And if the numbers tend to spike, then we pull back in certain areas. But, it's the pandemic thing is starting to get old. It's the summer of COVID-19 here, and we're almost mid-August, and now we're going to head into fall. And when this started happening in March, nobody could have imagined, although some people did say, especially health experts, that this is going to be a long haul. But I think most people brushed it off and thought by the very least June we'd be back to normal.
I had no clue what to think, but they're saying that they said that second wave, and I just, with all this stuff with the wedding stuff and everything that I did, they just released something that said they might not make it only 50 people now. They're going to make it 50% capacity, and it's just crazy to think I could have maybe still had my wedding next month versus switching it up completely to a whole year, but that's just been
you could have had it, and you could have probably saved a ton of money.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm saving good money now with what I'm doing, so I'm
that's
happy.
A good side of it, I guess.
Weddings
are very expensive, and I don't want to say it's a waste of money, but on one hand, it is a pretty big
Everyone
waste of
has
money.
their opinion, and now that I see how much money I am saving with our new plans, I'm like, oh, you want me to pay extra for that? I'm like, not in the budget, just because I don't want that money to go now. But
right.
It's just an interesting world we live in. And then I was supposed to be in Ohio last weekend, and then they decided to unban Ohio from the New York State quarantine list
travel
a few days ago. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? My life is just humorous at this point with all my plans.
As is everyone.
As is everyone. But I wanted to tell you that I did end up going to the Sky Deck this weekend.
Yeah, last week we had the folks from the new Sky Deck in Canandaigua, Nick's Chop House, the rooftop dining, our rooftop element, more of a
laid back, I would say.
Bar / bar food type right now up there. But
Absolutely.
So what was your experience? What was the weather like? It was Saturday night?
Weather was perfect. Like, I had like probably a tank top on, and I thought to bring a jacket but it was so hot during the day, and then right when we got up there it seemed like it cooled down almost, and it was just like the most perfect weather you could have up there. And what I loved the most is we sat at like a little circular table in the middle, and they have like regular tables, but the one we sat at was like a high top, but in the middle it had its own little fireplace. So if you are there at night and it starts to get chilly, they have like the rocks in there, and you can have your own little fire pit around the table. Loved that. The views were awesome. We had like a sunset, like a perfect sunset that was going on that day. They had he wasn't lying about like right now they have such a limited pub fare, but it makes sense.
I didn't think you would lie to us.
Well, no, I didn't know what to expect with the pub fare. You had a few things to choose from that were all good. It's like typical bar food that is gonna help you when you're drinking. I feel like it was geared towards good, yummy food like that. And the drinks, of course, were great. This time I tried them, and they were all frozen drinks compared to when we had them here, and did feel like I had that island vibe going on. They had the reggae music. The funniest part was the steps that he was talking about. 2 days later after we went, I saw that the elevator was completed and was going to, I think, go in yesterday to start or tomorrow. But those steps, we were like, oh my goodness. And everybody was walking up. One of my friends had heels on. They were like, this is the worst. But it was hilarious because everybody that came up, you see them like huffing and puffing for air. But the elevator will be in, so people don't have to deal with that. But maybe if you want to take the stairs, you can.
So yeah, I didn't get to go last weekend. I think not this Friday, but next Friday we might be going to Nick's Chop House for dinner, and then upstairs to the Sky Deck.
We did say we were like, it was completely booked downstairs when we went, and upstairs was first come first serve, which is they still have so much room up there that it really wasn't that crowded. But we were like, I think we should go back and go downstairs too, because all the food on that menu looked amazing.
Well, I went to dinner last weekend on Friday night. I went to a graduation party that was great. A lot of teachers there, talking about how they're going to go back to school, this and that and the other thing.
I'm sure that's all they can think about right now.
A lot of opinions.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night, my wife and I went to Rosalie's and ate outside, which that is so beautiful out there. We've always gone to Rosalie's but never eaten outside. But now that we have the option to eat outside, they have a nice fireplace. The trees kind of overhang the outside area, so you almost feel like you're inside even though you're outside.
Love that.
And it was great. I had the chicken saltimbocca over angel hair, which is I've gotten that like 5 times in a row at Rosalie's, which should tell you how good it is.
Yeah,
because
I guess
there's so many great things at Rosalie's in Skinny Atlas. But chicken saltimbocca, a glass of salmon run Riesling. It was awesome. I love going to restaurants.
I forget about Rosalie's. I need to
How can you forget about Rosalie's? It's a short drive from Seneca Falls too.
Yeah, well, Lions, it changes it up just a tiny bit, but not really. I need to remember to start going there, but I thought you'd be happy. I'm definitely going to
fresh bread. They make the fresh bread for your table.
Oh, I haven't been there in a while.
Loaf of bread and it's warm.
Yep, love that.
And yeah, like we had a polenta appetizer and salad, and but the star for me is a chicken saltimbocca. And,
oh, yum!
Usually when I go to restaurants, you generally aren't thinking about getting chicken, but this is great chicken. I also like getting chicken marsala at places too, and sometimes chicken parm depending on the place, but normally not chicken. But Rosalie's, this is literally 5 times in a row getting chicken saltimbocca.
Wow!
because I love it. I dream about it. I'm thinking about it now. My mouth is getting wet.
You're making me hungry. I was supposed to go somewhere today. Instead, we're going to go to a new place, but it's not that new. We were supposed to go to the the Switzerland Inn, it's actually called. It's in Hammondsport.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Today, because they have all-you-can-eat crab legs, which is a great deal. It's like 30.
All the way to Hammondsport?
Yeah. I mean, it's one at TJ's buddy.
So you're going or not going?
We're not going to go this week. We're going to go next week because tomorrow our good old William Street Tavern in Lyons is opening back up for the first day because they had to close. They've been closed with all this. They had just opened right before COVID, and now they're back tomorrow. So we were like, let's give them some business and bring in a big group of local people that have been wanting to go there. So it'll be exciting.
If you do go to Hammondsport and you don't go to the Switzerland Inn, go to the Union Block downtown.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of them.
Unbelievable, so good. And then they have the Union Block in Penn Yan, which I think I did a review of on the show.
I honestly think you did too. Yeah, because there were two different places you could choose from.
The original is in Hammondsport, and they opened up a new one in Penn Yan, and I was excited when we ate the one in Penn Yan that it was just as good as the original. Same exact thing. And Penn Yan's a little closer to us in Seneca Falls, but always good to take a trip to Hammondsport. It's beautiful, especially in like another month, month and a half.
I love driving through it every time we have to bring Liam back because it's just so pretty. But I feel like we just turned this whole show into restaurants and what we should eat, and now I'm really hungry thanks to that. But what else has been going on?
Well, I didn't know how much of this I'd bring up, but my father was hospitalized. He's 78 years old. Had an issue at the house where he passed out, and my mother called me in the middle of the night, and the ambulance took him to Geneva. And now he's in Rochester General. He's doing better. But normally, if my father is at Rochester General, where he actually had a surgery this morning, that went well.
That's great.
I wouldn't be here talking on a podcast or here at work.
Right.
But because of the way it is at hospitals right now, I can't be there anyway. My mother's there with my sister today. I'll go up tomorrow, but only one of them can go in at a time, and for a total of 4 hours. So the reason I bring this up is, in Geneva, you could visit from 3 or 4 to 7 p.m. And that's it.
Wow.
One person at a time. So what would happen is I would text my mother and say I'm here at like 4:30 or whatever. Then we'd swap out. But the thing I don't like about that, I don't understand, is let's say that my mother wanted to be by his bedside 24/7.
Right.
Or if not 24/7, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Let's say.
Right.
Like, why does that create a greater risk for transmission of coronavirus? She's there she's there for 2 hours or 10 hours. And so it was really upsetting to think, for her and for everybody in my family, to think of him being alone.
Right, yeah.
And he wasn't doing too good initially, which is why he's up in Rochester right now. So it was a perspective of a side of the pandemic, that was very personal. And I know that there's probably been a lot of people that have had to deal with this thing, and I just think that part of it's not right. I don't know why that policy is in place, but the immediate family or a spouse should not be limited to 4 hours.
I know.
It's just, that was the hardest thing.
I
think of my poor father being alone and feeling really bad, and not knowing what was going to happen. And I think in some of those situations you don't necessarily want to be left alone with your thoughts.
Absolutely, yeah. In a normal situation, people don't want to be left alone with their thoughts when they're in the hospital and not doing well. But I feel like the hospital just doesn't know how they would be able to control, like, if there was 10 times more people because there was one person at each.
Well, again, I'm not saying that he should have had unlimited visitors. The one at a time thing's even fine. But somebody should be able to be, like, if my mother is designated as his primary visitor, why limit her to 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah.
Why not just let her sit up there the entire time?
And she stays, and have precautions where you stay in that room or you're not
whether
wandering.
she stays or not, they're leaving and going home at night and coming back. But what's the difference between 10 hours and 3 hours?
Right.
There's not to me. There's not a greater risk of, and everything was pretty locked down. I haven't been to Rochester General yet. I'll go tomorrow, but we'll see what that's like up there. But it's got to be very frustrating, especially hearing stories of people who've lost loved ones in nursing homes or hospitals where they essentially died alone.
Right. Ugh. That's a serious side that you don't want to think about. That's super, super real for everybody. Even like people that were going through pregnancies and about to have a baby in the beginning, some of their spouses couldn't even come in for that. Right. I think that's insane. But again, nobody knew what was going on, and you don't know what's wrong and what's right. But that's really real.
Logically, what's the difference if you're going to have a visitor come from 3 hours a day? What's the difference if they're there for 10 hours or 3 hours in terms of the the risk of spreading or contracting coronavirus?
They have more time in the outside world to expose themselves if they're spending
true.
less time at the hospital. But
luckily around here, the cases have been down, but they're still there. Cuba County had a slight uptick this week, as Josh, our news director, Josh Durso, illustrated in his what's become pretty much a weekly numbers update for COVID. Slight uptick. 2 active cases here in Seneca County.
Jeez, go us.
So 0 in Schuyler. Zero deaths in Schuyler, too. The only county in the Finger Lakes with, they're the smallest, but still.
They're doing something right.
There's very little coronavirus in the Finger Lakes region right now.
That's great.
Which doesn't mean we shouldn't be careful, especially going back to school now. But as we'll see in some of these local photos, wineries, get out there to the wineries. You can do all that stuff.
I went to Miranda Cheese, and it was beautiful, but it was a little overwhelming because it was packed, but they did so well.
For what?
I had a surprise little get-together for some of the girls that were supposed to go on The Bachelorette with me. I thought I was just like going there to listen to some live music and do something.
But that's a great venue to be able to social distance and have a larger number of people in the same place. I was there a week prior for a graduation party.
We were there and had 2 big picnic tables, but still the picnic tables stayed 6 feet apart. So if we wanted to move from one picnic table to the other, we had to put our mask on, which was fine. And the owner was walking around and was great and was making sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to, because obviously his business is on the line. So I think it was great. I think you need to get out there, and I want to see these local photos because we have been missing them lately. Yeah,
because there's something different now. When you send us your photo, we're going to post it to our Instagram account just to get it out there more. If you go to our photos page on Finger Lakes One, you're going to see this feed of our own Instagram feed photos and other photos that were tagged FLX.
Love that.
So you're going to get a variety. You're going to get a lot more. And so, we decided instead of keeping our photos kind of in its own walled-off garden where not a lot of people would be exposed to them in our photo section only, we're going to put them on Instagram and just use that as...
Smart.
And the result is just a more wide variety of photos, as you'll see.
I can't wait. I can't wait for you to show me. Let's see.
Here we go. So anyways... and again, some of them we don't have photographers for either, but this was a great shot of a sunrise in the Finger Lakes this past week.
Literally looks like a painting.
And
it could be a good one.
Summer flower. My yard, I'm really proud of myself with the accomplishments I'm making in terms of the floral and the bushes and things we're doing. We have a patio, a deck that we installed. We're installing a patio next around the pool, which is a very old pool, a solid concrete pool, no liner.
Wow.
So anyways, there's some nice flowers that were...
Looks like a wedding arrangement. Maybe that's just where my brain is.
Yeah, it says when we got married, we had a backyard wedding.
Love that.
So moving on here, good old... this is from the virtual Riesling Road show that was going on earlier last weekend, maybe?
A little bit. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or maybe longer now, but I remember when it was happening. Beautiful.
And this is from Canada's Lake.
Love that.
And again, don't know the photographer name on these, which is something different. So
I know. We'll start getting them, I'm sure.
I'll try. I don't know who took this one, but
it's beautiful.
Fantastic. And then the FLX Wienery. You've ever eaten there?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Not a winery, it's a wienery. Those are hot dogs.
Those are all different hot dogs?
Yeah,
oh, my goodness.
I want to say it's on the west side of Seneca Lake or the east side of Keuka Lake. I can't remember which. Anyways.
That's a great photo, too.
Yeah.
That looks like it's got a cheeseburger on top of it, that one.
It might.
I don't know. I'm going to have to check that place out, though.
Yep. Loaded hot dogs.
That's great.
And here's another, this one, Yates County.
Beautiful.
Ed Trapp again. I know who took that one. He's one of our regular contributors. And then here's a couple. Actually, the caption you can see there is in Chinese. So I don't know if they were traveling or what, but they were enjoying the golden hour, which is the ultimate hour of being outdoors in the Finger Lakes, the hour before evening falls.
Great for photo taking.
And this would be at the south end of Keuka Lake near Toganic State Park.
That's a really cute photo.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm loving these Instagram photos.
Yeah, speaking of wine tasting, there you go. I mean, that's what you'll do. You'll go to the winery, you'll get some wine, you'll taste, you'll hang out. Great views of different lakes, and you can put on a nice, pretty dress like this girl, whoever she is.
She's very photogenic. I love it.
Yep, and little did she know that she was going to be on
FLX Weekly. That girl.
This is at Geneva on the Lake.
Those gardens are cool.
Yeah, the gardens at Geneva on the Lake are really impressive, and so this dog looks like he's got a pretty good life as far as dogs go. It's a poodle, right?
What a great, I guess some type, but
yeah,
it's got a great cut going on.
And someone just enjoying a glass of wine. Patty Mueller-Meyer.
Perfect.
On Honeoye Lake.
Perfect shot. I'll take that boat in a heartbeat and go on that lake.
And there's that same, must be that same poodle with some more of his friends. Marvin the Maltese.
Does he have his own Instagram? It's a
standard poodle bow. You know what I mean? Standard poodle bow. That's what the dog is, and the other one is a Maltese.
Wow, love it. Must have met some friends at the winery.
And let's see if we got a few more. Oh, here we go.
Chelsea.
You know who that is?
Yeah, that's Chelsea Young. Love that picture.
Nice boots.
Yeah. What is she tracking through where she's going to build a house?
Wildflowers and watching fireflies.
Love that. Super COVID-friendly outdoor activities right there.
And then look at this one. Chasing the summer color while it's here.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Seriously, these all have been like really, really good photos. I need to step my Instagram game up after seeing photos like this.
This is off the deck at Watkins Glen Harbor Hotel, south end of Seneca Lake.
Beautiful.
My wife and I stayed there the year they opened. We went there for our anniversary, actually.
I love that. That's a nice view.
And, some more flowers.
Been seeing sunflowers everywhere
Huge
lately.
Sunflower fields. Just really, it's a wonder of the world almost when you see one of those.
I found a few around here, and I was like, wow.
Letchworth State Park balloons.
Wow, these photos are really good.
Ithaca, one of the gorges in Ithaca.
Amazing. I'm definitely not going to be able to pick. I don't know if you're going to try and make me pick. With sunflowers?
From Glenn's Cotton Farms with actual edible flowers.
What?
Baked into them.
Oh, sweet.
Something new. Different, I should say. And then this is Watkins Glen Harbor Hotel again.
Beautiful.
The patio and... what do you think?
I think that's a lot of photos that I'm not going to be able to...
You know this girl too?
I don't, actually. Not from here. I can't see. But she looks like a beautiful model on the lake right there.
Reading
that's for
a
sure.
book on the lake. And then finally a nice balloon from Lance Tellsworth driving that... piloting that balloon.
Amazing.
So there's
that was a lot. That was a lot of photos, and honestly, I don't know.
We don't
what
need
I'd
to
be
pick
able to
one.
pick. Yeah.
I
don't think we should go back to picking yet because that was overwhelming.
This
they were
is
all
a
great.
time of change.
Yeah, we have to adapt and change, and we're getting those photos out there more, and can't wait to tell the people that I saw, like, hey, you were on the show today. But if you want, we can run through the weather real quick. We already basically ate up all our time, but that's up to you.
Weather, yeah.
Weather, let's go.
Was hot. It's cooling down here on Wednesday, and then when I say cooling down, I mean a lot less humid, 80s instead of 90s.
Okay.
And this weekend looks great. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 85. Calm wind that's going to shift to the northeast, which will make it a nice cool breeze.
Love that.
Friday night, you're going to get down to about 64 degrees, which is pretty pleasant evening. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 86, so a nice warm Saturday before cooling down again in the overnight into Sunday down to a low of 65. Then Sunday, just a 30% chance of showers. It'll be cloudy, though, high near 81, and then heading back to work on Monday, 50% chance of showers and a high of just 78. So the dog days of summers are kind of like starting to transition to the nice days of fall.
I love fall, but it's so sad. You know it's so sad because it feels like summer went by so quick. I know you won't agree with me because you love that crisp, nice,
I like it all.
light
Fall
jacket
is
weather.
great. The only thing bad about fall is that it comes right before winter. But you get Christmas, kind of the Christmas season, Thanksgiving, all that. That's a great way to start winter. And then it's January, February, March is just rough. But I love fall in the Finger Lakes. I love summer in the Finger Lakes. I love spring in the Finger Lakes. So I'm not going to
We'll take it. 3 for 4.
be upset when fall gets here.
I'll just be upset that I can't be laying out in my pool and just soaking up the sun. But really, we went through that show actually pretty quick. Even though we didn't have a guest, I hope everybody had a good time talking about food with us because now I'm starving. But that's all the time.
Yeah, what's going on this weekend? Where are you going to eat this weekend?
I don't even know. I can't even think right now. I just know I'm going to eat as soon as we leave this show and tomorrow at William Street Tavern, and then I will take it from there because I don't know. But do you have any specific places?
I don't know what's going on exactly this weekend, except for that we have the Canal Cup matches, Seneca Falls Country Club versus Silver Creek. And Saturday at SFCC.
That's a big ordeal right there.
Sunday's the Cash Bonanza at Seneca Falls Country Club.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't even get in. It was already fully booked when I wanted to play.
If you tried again, they might squeeze you in.
Oh, maybe. We'll have to see. I got a few coming up. That's why we won't be here next week.
Yeah, no show next week.
No show. We got a golf tournament.
Seneca County Chamber of Commerce tournament we're going to be at.
Then I think, one at the end of the month and then one at the beginning of the next month. So I'm getting all my golf in now.
So no show next week. I know you're highly disappointed.
Yeah,
but when we come back on Wednesday, in 2 weeks, we'll have Catherine Chase here.
Yes.
From the Cuca Lake Wine Trail.
It's like she was just here, but for real. Yes, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, you can click like, you can share with your friends, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will not be back next week, but we will be back the following week. Until then, have a great weekend here in the Finger Lakes.